write for film, I want to write for graphic novels, I want to write perhaps even for games, and now apparently I've discovered that I want to write for poetry.
Yeah, let's go check out.
But like presumably Crimson Cranes, which hey y'all, I'm not even gonna lie, I feel a little weird because it's been a while since I filmed one of these, but welcome to a writing vlog. It's been a minute. I'm not even gonna lie, it's not because I've been writing and I just haven't shown you guys like I've been productive behind the scenes. No, I just deadass have not been that productive when it comes to writing. And you know what, maybe it wasn't much need a break. Maybe I need to like reconsider some things. Obviously I'm still a writer, like I'm gonna be an English major for creative writing track. We are getting back into it. We are slowly easing our way back into the writing process as per usual. I guess welcome back. And in case anyone is new here to my writing vlogs, etc. My name's Lauren. I am a sophomore at NYU and I am going to be an English major with the creative writing track, and I am a novelist currently. I love saying that because like now my novel that I've been working on is actually a novel at 50K, but I haven't worked on it in months. I haven't worked on it probably since like the beginning of my sophomore year. So that was September 2021 and it is now February 2022. So you know what we need to do? Get my act together. Luckily, I ended up taking a creative writing class for the spring semester. I'm really enjoying my spring semester classes, and that one is definitely like one of the highlights of my semester. It's basically a small class with 12 to 15-ish students and a professor who is basically like an MFA student. So like they're currently going through the process, we're all going through the process together, and it's just like a really nice, nurturing space. And I've just felt like I've been in a more creative mood lately. I'm feeling my creative juices flowing. So I wanted to start vlogging and show you guys me getting slowly back into the writing process. And this is gonna be odd. I'm gonna say this because this is gonna be odd and a little shocking, but I'm writing poetry, which is, yeah, like I don't do that. I am a novelist, like I said. I am a fiction writer and I'm especially a lover of fantasy. But because my creative writing class is Intro to Prose and Poetry, I've been writing poetry for the last couple of weeks and it's been an interesting experience. I used to hate it, but honestly, like since coming to college, I've been studying more poetry and literature, and I guess I've become more familiar with the forms and the ways that it can be interesting, the ways to grab your attention. And I think I'm finding a form that like suits me, that I enjoy. Not saying I'm turning into a poet. No, I'm still gonna write my fiction, fantasy, whatever. But I am seeing the appeal of poetry and I think it's helping me learn something that will probably help me for my fiction writing. So that's what I've been doing for the last few weeks. Hold on, pause. 1 second. Ugh. Okay. I feel like I can't start this video over showing all what I got. So this was in my last vlog. It was my Days of Love vlog. I'm honestly really proud of it, so go ahead and check it out. But we read Rainer Rilke for the first day of class. I'm not even gonna lie, my boy with like these letters to a young poet brought me to tears. He brought me to tears. Like those words really resonated. And one thing he really emphasized was like writing in solitude. Try not to think about like the audience you're necessarily writing for, but make sure you access that internal part of yourself. Those emotions that just like enter your body and help you change it to a new person. Essentially just write with your heart on your sleeve, and make sure to explore new forms that like really fit you and fit whatever it is you're trying to convey. Like try to mold the box in which to send a message of emotion to your audience. And that's basically what I've been trying to do with my poetry. I've been trying to write it in a way that's personal, but like not necessarily just in the ways of intimacy, but also just I guess like things that feel personal to me, like the way I like the sun rises in my room, or the way I like the way AirPods like help me get through my day and stuff like that. Like I've just been trying to like write anything that comes to mind, and that's what I've been doing, and that's honestly the current poem that I'm working on. So our first poem was a poem about the self, which I wrote, and I honestly am really proud of. That was my first piece of poetry in probably years. Like before I didn't tend to write poetry unless I was like really emotional or anything like that, but obviously I'm an emotional person, so I was emotional writing the poem, but I was basically just trying to explore the form, explore poetry structure. There's so much I don't know, but I'm still like really enjoying it, and I think that's why And I think that is why I am using poetry as a mode in which to get back into like writing regularly, because before, like obviously like I am a fiction writer, that's my standard form, so I think so much about like the way I'm writing paragraphs, the way I'm writing characters, etc, etc. But for poetry, I'm basically just exploring the form, exploring wordplay, and just like it's basically like an exploration. That's what I'm treating it as. Like it's high stakes but slow stakes at the same time. I'm going in knowing that I'm there to like learn, and that like nothing I write is going to be perfect. And I think that's why it's been easier for me to write, and why it's like becoming like a good pathway in which to like get back into writing again. So I've been writing poetry, and that is how I'm getting back into writing. So this vlog is basically just gonna be me slowly easing back into it with the poetry I'll be writing, and then also eventually going back, looking at my novel, and probably writing my first few words in months. Like literal months. Along with that, I will be reading, obviously, letters to a young poet, digesting what I can, making it become part of me, highlighting my favorite parts, and I'll probably tell you guys some quotes that I like as I'm going through this writing process. And I got this calendar for the beginning of the year that I sort of used. I was getting into writing a little, but I also had COVID, and I kind of explained in my other videos like where I was emotionally, so I just was not writing as much after like the first couple weeks of January. But I got this calendar, and I'm gonna use it to track my writing. Usually I was gonna do like word count, but I think I'm just gonna track like if I wrote a day, and then maybe also word count. So that's what we'll be doing. But I have a poem due at 8 a.m. in the morning tomorrow, so I'm going to write that. I'm halfway done, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, not really gonna show y'all, but I'll tell y'all what it's about and everything. Let's get into writing. So I wrote the poem I'm going to submit for a workshop tomorrow, and yeah, I'm done. It was interesting because I wrote about like a past experience I had in like probably like my sophomore year in high school, essentially. I'm relating to now, but like it does relate to back then, and I'm just like sitting with it, I guess. Like it's interesting because part of me is like, oh, it's not complex, or like I feel like I need to add more, but part of me is like, I think it is in its best form and its simplest. And I think that's the interesting thing about poetry. I feel like the same way as fiction, sometimes like it takes a form of its own and eventually you just become like the conduit. And another thing I like about poetry, I feel like this poem is much more different from like the poem I wrote last week. And the thing with poetry is that you can change your form so freaking often. Like it's never just like one thing, and I think that's like really interesting. I almost feel the same feeling I get when I start painting and it just ends up not exactly the way I wanted it, but like in a way that like really satisfies me. That's whenever I feel like going into poetry. I feel like a painter, and then like the image, which ends up being the structure, ends up being like the words I choose, like the words being the colors and the structure being like the whole picture. I think all of that, like I just get that same feeling I get whenever I finish a painting, except sometimes it can be very, very deeply personal like it is now. And it's funny because it feels very personal, but I use so few words, and it's just very interesting. It is very interesting. I think this class, along with like just the poetry I've read the last semester or so, has made me grow a new appreciation for poetry. So you know what, you poets out there, keep doing you. I am done, and I'll turn it in, and I'll let you know how workshop goes. And I'll let you know when I start something else. I actually have another idea for a poem, so I think I'll just write down like my thoughts for it, like I did for this one. Like I wrote down my like thoughts of what like I wanted it to be, like a couple lines in my head. So I think I'll do that, and I'll let you know next time I write something. 132 words, that's crazy. Like it's more than a page, but it's like 132 words, but I feel like also in 132 words I said so much. That is so crazy. Anyways, poetry is blowing my mind, but I am liking this a lot. Okay, hi, it is Lauren here, and I'm back from the morning classes, including creative writing. I went there, we did our workshop, it was fun, it was very interesting. I think like I really liked the readings that we did for a workshop, which means I basically just really like the work of like the people that are in my classes. They're also interesting and unique in their own ways, and I feel like it opens my eyes to like the more different kinds of ways I can create. Because like again, you kind of get inspiration and you become a better writer from reading different works, but it's another experience to watch someone else's works in development or watch someone else's ideas in development and how they come onto the page. I think it's just really interesting and inspiring, and it's just nice. Like, I really enjoy it. But anyways, I got another poetry idea in my social and cultural analysis class. Like, it just came to me. Like, it kind of was in my head, but like I didn't have a concrete idea of it. But I feel like a sort of concrete idea of it came in my social and cultural analysis class. And right now I've just had the tendency of like writing when basically just like the night before, because like this is like homework, right? Like, it's writing, but it's also homework. So I'm like, okay, I'll basically just do it the night before. But I think I want to work on giving myself more space and more room in order to work on these pieces. So I have some ideas, and I think I'm going to start writing it today, especially since tomorrow, which is Friday, February 18th, I am meeting with my creative writing professor, who is very awesome and sweet, and just, I don't know, this writing course is at 8 a.m. and it's just like really, really nice. Like, it's good energy and good people, and I'm just really enjoying that. So my writing professor is really awesome, and we are luckily going to meet for office hours tomorrow in order to go over some work, because I think something I want to push myself more to do like this year. Again, this kind of relates to my word of the year, establish. I've been working on a ton of things, especially since 2020, but in 2021 I didn't do it as much. So in 2022 I want to go in working on things to establish myself as someone that can like work in the force and just get my name out there as a writer, and in other fields in which I'm interested in working in the future, and just participating in general. Like, I just really want to be in the literary world. The point is that I obviously, like, I write. I haven't been writing as much lately, but I do write, but I don't have much work out there that's like published or like in a publication, you know what I'm saying? I'm even thinking of like creating a blog again, etc., but I really want to get my work out there in already established magazines that will help spread my word around and everything like that, and just expose me to different writers as well. So that's what I want to work on, and that's one of my goals for this semester, because we do have certain writing goals for like our semester, but mine is basically to expand my understanding and use of words through poetry, but also through prose, and then just publish some stuff, or perhaps just like submit myself into like writing competitions and like writing like publication things to be perhaps considered for certain things if they would accept me. Let me not get in my head of myself, but the whole idea is to get in the habit of writing consistently in a way where it's like I'm preparing it in order to be consumed, so I actually get to final drafts. I have a tendency to write and then not to get to final drafts, and then also just get in the habit of like submitting my things to be judged by people and to be published for the public, and that is the plan. I'm just gonna get some stuff on the page so I'm prepared for the meeting on Friday with my professor. But that's basically the goal. It has been fun. When you start writing, you just start thinking about it constantly. And along with writing, of course, you have to consume media. So for one, I am consuming the work and pieces that my classmates are submitting in, but I'm also consuming TV shows, books, and I am going to see a Broadway show this weekend with my family. So be excited, because I will be filming that, of course. This is a writing vlog. It's writing, but it's also consuming. Hey guys, good morning. I gotta meet with my family soon in order to like do everything. Basically, I am pretty much ready to go spend a day with my family. We're gonna go to like this breakfast place I really like, and then we're gonna go see Hadestown, like I said before, one of the modes of storytelling in which I will be consuming today. And then we have plans to like go shopping, whatever, do whatever it is they want to do, because it is like one of their only few days like in New York, so I don't really like mind what we end up doing. And then we have dinner at 7 at this Cuban restaurant, which I'm really excited about. But anyways, that is the day. I did not you guys properly, I think, like after I like met up with my professor about like my creative writing process and like what my plans were for this semester. It went really well. Like honestly, I was a little afraid because I think writing can sometimes be like, it can be felt as such like a solitary, how do I describe it, like a solitary activity. So like sometimes like talking it out, like talking about like really personally with someone, like I think that's the first time I talked one-on-one with someone about like my writing plans, like in a serious manner, about like tools I can use in order to get better, or like things, resources I can access in order to achieve those goals. Like I think that's the first time I've really talked to someone about that, like in person, face to face, in like a long time. And it also quite seriously, because now I'm at the end of my sophomore year going into junior year, you have to start thinking about like what you want your career path to look like going out of school and what you want to do. So I don't know, that was interesting, and it was nice. My professor was really nice and comforting and like open about it. Like I didn't feel awkward or like uncomfortable at all, and yeah, it was just a really good experience. Got a little emotional at some points, but I went into like the details. Like for one, I went to like learn more about like how to properly write prose and short stories, because I tend to write something and think it's like a novel idea, and then like I go overboard when I could have just ended it at like the first 5k words. We also talked about like different poetry styles I could explore. There's one specific poem I'm working on that's kind of close to my heart that like I kind of did not know necessarily how to navigate. So my like professor gave me a couple of suggestions, like not anything like pointed like, oh you should do this, but like suggestions in certain like ways in which I can navigate that topic through words. So overall, again, very productive. I honestly like had such a good day yesterday, and that just like helped cinch it in. Like I felt like I was doing so much creatively, so that was nice. I really enjoyed that. Today we will be going to watch Hadestown, which is really fun. It's been a while since I've seen a Broadway show. I'll probably end up being inspired by it. I feel like whenever I watch like a really good story or like consume like a really good story, any sort of media, I just start to feel like your little writer chest starts racing off. And then also just like as a consumer, like I love that shit. But speaking of consuming stories, I am currently reading Outlander, and I want to get into like Rainer Rilke's like his letters to a young poet, but like I'm not sure if I want to go into something like that deep. I think I just want to turn my mind off. I'm really tired from a week of just constant not getting enough sleep. Because of that, I think I want to just go in with an easier story, like presumably, and that will be 6 Crimson Cranes, which I showed in like my little book haul for my like Days of Love vlog. I think this will be interesting. It's a fantasy, and I want to read it partly because I want to turn my brain off, and I think this will be really interesting, and I just haven't read a YA in a while, but also just because like I'm not sure if anyone else deals with this, where you get like the sense like you start writing in a different genre or like a different like mode, whatever, and you like start doing that and exploring it and enjoying it, but obviously you still are a writer of like your main genre. Like for me, that's fiction, it's fantasy, that's like whatever, like I'm writing that. But like part of you, like when you explore different genre, you're just like, will I remember how to write in that genre again, like going back into it? Because I do want to go back into it by like the end of this weekend. Basically I want to go back in and look at like what I have written and just recall, because I do want to think about plot. I want to write whenever I get the chance when it comes to my story, because even though I'll have more time in the summer, I think when I get in the habit of like writing that again and not feeling like it's something I can never write. I've started making that world. I want to keep on exploring it, and I love the characters of it so much that I think, yes, I will be continuing that novel. I already knew that, but I'm just gonna like say that out there for anyone that's been keeping up with my writing vlogs. But I'm like slightly afraid that I'll forget how to write like YA fantasy, because it is a YA fantasy book. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna read a YA fantasy. The best way in which to keep up your craft is to read stuff that is related to that craft. That's just something I heartily believe in. It's advice so many writers give. So there you go. Like instead of writing every day, maybe just like pick up a book, feel inspired. Obviously don't copy it, because you need to maintain your voice in your book, but you know what I'm saying. That's basically the vibe. I'm gonna eat some breakfast, read a little, and then I'll head off to meet my family. And of course I'll be taking you guys with me. See ya later. Oh, did y'all get the same thing? Oh, that makes sense. We don't know where people have been. Hey, yo, hold up. For the vlog. Oh, you're not wearing anything. You're just wearing some goofy ass. Come here. Bring some here, mommy. to study because even as a writer, we have our responsibilities as students, as our jobs, whatever. I'm gonna meet with my friends in a cafe and we're gonna do some work because I haven't done work all weekend and it's kind of bad for me. It's a little bad for me. Oh, also, boom, I got this big anime sweater. It's so cozy, and since it's 50 degrees, I literally am so happy I could just go out in this sweater. So, see you all there. It is the 23rd of February and it's like 7, almost 7:30 in the morning. I think I'm gonna end the writing vlog here because I feel like I got a decent amount of footage and I've written a lot in this vlog. It may just be poetry, but I have written a lot and I feel really proud of that. And I think I'm getting confidence as a writer, and it also, I think, made me realize that though I do want to be a fiction writer, I want to write many things. I already knew that. I want to write research papers, I want to write for film, I want to write for graphic novels, I want to write perhaps even for games, and now apparently I've discovered that I want to write for poetry as well. Will I ever actually publish it in a book form? I don't really at the mo. I do not. That's not anywhere in the plans. But I guess what I'm saying is that I don't mind being a poet, and I look forward to seeing how this will evolve my writing in the future. But that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. As per usual, like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all my medias. They're always linked down below. And I will see you all in the next one. And there will be a next one. We're gonna make this a more consistent writing series. That way I write more consistently. That would be my tea. Gotta go. Bye-bye.